It's the Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
G'day, this is Dr. Justin Coulson, the founder of happyfamilies.com.au and dad to 6 kids. Normally, I'm here with Kylie, my wife, Mrs. Happy Families, as my parenting podcast co-host, but it's school holidays in Queensland. I hope that you're having a great school holiday break with your kids. Kylie and I will be back from our holidays with a whole lot of new episodes of the Happy Families podcast, starting again on July the 11th. But for now, some highlights from recent Happy Families podcasts. Every now and again, I get to talk to an absolute, just somebody who blows me away. A couple of years ago, I read a book called The End of Average. And then the following year, I read Dark Horse. They were literally 2 of my favourite books each year. I at the top of my list of favourite books that I read that year, The End of Average and Dark Horse, written by Todd Rose. He had a chat with Kylie and I in episode number 191 of the Happy Families podcast. And we touched on how to work with your child who is making a life choice that you don't agree with.
So how do you deal with your child wanting to make a life choice that doesn't seem like the right idea at the time?
Some things are just bad choices, right? Let's be clear, right? Not every path is a fulfilling path. But one of the things that especially with older kids, and I think for younger kids, I have different advice about some of the things that I think parents should focus on. But for older kids, look, in a standardized system, whatever it is, at least we know the mile markers, right? We kind of know how to tell whether we're making progress. When you choose to pursue a path of fulfillment, it's a unique path. So it's not as easy to know, am I on path or am I just like literally a dead end? So this is the thing that I think, like, one of the things that I would always ask is your child taking responsibility for the choices, right? So like, if you have a kid who wants to be an actress and they're like, I'm going to Hollywood, right? And it's like, they're living with 6 roommates, they're waiting tables to pay the bills, and they're doing it. That's not bad. That is a really good sign. It may not turn out that she's going to be a celebrity actress, but it is a good path, right? But if she's like, hey, listen, I expect you to pay for my rent and, I need a car, and you're not taking, like, without fail, not a single successful dark horse that we studied ever shirked responsibility, right? Because if it is a path of meaning and fulfillment, you will take responsibility. You will do what it takes, right? So if you see your kid being willing to lean into it and own the responsibility, man, lean into it with them, because it may not be their long-term life outcome, but it will be a great learning experience, and you never know what comes next.
That's Todd Rose from episode number 191. Professor Todd Rose from Harvard. He wrote The End of Average and Dark Horse. Hope you enjoyed that chat. If you'd like to hear more of that conversation, episode number 191 is where you can find the entire interview. Your daughter just walked by, eyes glued to her phone, expression unreadable. You ask her to put it down, but she balks. You know it's not good for her, but you're not sure why or how to support better choices. In the webinar Pixel Perfect, I join with psychologist and teen tech expert Jocelyn Brewer to discuss how to set screen boundaries that work for you and your daughter. Check out Pixel Perfect now on the Happy Families webshop. Really appreciate you listening to the Happy Families podcast. If you ever find us talking about something that you would love to have some input on, you can email us, podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. We especially love it when you send us voice memos. Open up your telephone, click on the voice memos app, and just tell us what's on your mind. Try to keep it to 20 or 30 seconds. The shorter it can be, the more likely it is that we can use it on the podcast. Podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. Send us your voice memos. We would love to have your voice as part of the Happy Families podcast, which is produced by Justin Rowland from Bridge Media. Craig Bruce is our executive producer. And if you'd like more info about making your family happier, visit us at happyfamilies.com.au.